you ever noticed how some people seem to drift out of your life, only to return when you finally started to move on? It's a perplexing pattern, isn't it? Perhaps you've asked yourself, why do they always pull away just when I care the most? And why do they suddenly reappear when I've found my footing again? These moments can feel like emotional whiplash, unpredictable and frustrating. But what if I told you this isn't just about them? What if their actions are an invitation for you to discover something profound about yourself? In this video, we'll dive deep into the dynamics of pulling away and coming back, all through the lens of Stoicism. Together, we'll unravel the reasons behind this behavior, reflect on how it impacts you, and most importantly, learn how to rise above it. This isn't just about understanding their choices, it's about rediscovering your worth, reclaiming your power, and reshaping your story. Each step of this journey reveals more than you'd expect. From detachment to self-sufficiency, and even the power of humor in navigating heartbreak, every part of this process holds a gem of wisdom. Stay with me to the very end, because the final revelation, the choice to reconcile or move forward, will show you how much control you truly have. So are you ready to explore why they always pull away and then come back? Let's begin with the foundation of it all, understanding your intrinsic value. 1. The core truth. Your value is intrinsic. Let's start with a truth so simple, yet so easily forgotten. Your worth is not determined by someone else's recognition. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you sought validation from someone, hoping they'd notice your efforts, your kindness, or the love you gave? And when they didn't, how often did you question your own value? It's a painful trap, one that leaves you spinning in self-doubt. But here's the reality. Your value exists regardless of their ability to see it. This isn't just an uplifting thought, it's a principle deeply rooted in Stoicism. Epictetus taught that external opinions and actions are beyond our control. What we can control is how we perceive ourselves and where we place our energy. Have you been placing too much of your energy on winning someone's approval? When they pull away, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, was I not enough? But the truth is, their departure says more about them than it does about you. Perhaps they're struggling with their own insecurities. Perhaps they fail to see the treasure that is you. Whatever the reason, it is not your burden to carry. Instead, this is your opportunity to shift the focus inward. What if you stopped waiting for them to recognize your value and started living as if you already knew it? How would your life change if you truly believed that your worth is intrinsic, untethered to anyone's approval? Here's an experiment for you. Take a moment right now to affirm, I define my worth. Say it aloud or write it in the comments below. Feel the power of those words. They're a declaration not just to others, but to yourself, that you refuse to let anyone else determine your value. The beautiful irony is this. When you embrace this mindset, others will often notice your newfound confidence. It's almost as if stepping into your worth makes you a magnet. But don't let their return be your goal. Instead, let it be a byproduct of the strength and self-assurance you cultivate. As we continue, we'll explore how detachment, another key Stoic principle, becomes a powerful tool in reclaiming your independence. Ready to delve deeper? Let's move forward. 2. Detachment as a power move. Have you ever felt exhausted trying to hold someone's attention? Like a performer juggling flaming torches, you do everything in your power to keep them engaged, only for them to slowly drift away. It's frustrating, isn't it? The harder you try, the more it feels like they're slipping through your fingers. But here's the paradox. What if the secret to holding on is learning to let go? Detachment isn't about giving up or being cold. It's about reclaiming your energy and placing it where it truly matters, on yourself. Stoicism teaches us that our happiness should never depend on things outside our control. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about it. Are you trying to control the uncontrollable? Are you waiting for someone to validate your efforts while your own peace and joy hang in the balance? Detachment flips the script. When you let go of the need for their approval, you shift the power dynamic entirely. You reclaim your freedom. You stop being the supporting character in their story and start being the lead in your own. Ask yourself this: what could I accomplish if I redirected all the energy I've spent trying to win them back? Imagine pouring that energy into something that truly fulfills you, a hobby, a career goal, or even your mental and physical health. What could you create? Who could you become? Detachment is not a sign of indifference, but a statement of self-respect. It says, I am worthy of love and connection, but I refuse to chase it at the expense of my peace. When you embrace this mindset, something extraordinary happens. You no longer need to convince anyone of your worth, because you carry it within you. And here's the twist. Often the moment you stop chasing them, they notice. Suddenly your absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. But remember, detachment isn't about playing games or manipulating others, it's about being genuine. It's about finding joy and purpose in your life, whether they're a part of it or not. The freedom that comes with this shift is magnetic, and people are naturally drawn to those who are secure and content within themselves. So here's a challenge. Take a step today toward detachment. Maybe that means pursuing a passion you've neglected, or simply reminding yourself that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. And if this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Share how you're taking steps to focus on yourself. If this idea of detachment feels freeing to you, let me know by liking this video. It's a small but powerful way to affirm that you're ready to take back control of your life. And as we move forward, we'll explore what happens when you stand strong in your self-sufficiency. You won't want to miss this next step, where we dive into how to truly thrive on your own terms. Let's keep going. 3. Standing strong in self-sufficiency. Imagine a tree standing tall in the middle of a storm. Its branches may sway and its leaves may scatter, but its roots hold firm. This is what self-sufficiency feels like, a quiet, unshakable strength that grounds you, no matter what chaos swirls around you. When someone pulls away from your life, it may feel like the storm has arrived. But what if, instead of fearing the storm, you used it to grow deeper roots? Self-sufficiency is not about isolation or rejecting relationships. It's about knowing that you are enough on your own. It's about finding fulfillment in the life you create rather than waiting for someone else to complete it. This is a core tenet of Stoicism, which teaches us that our happiness must be built from within, not borrowed from others. Have you ever felt like you couldn't handle something on your own? Like you needed someone else to steady you? It's a natural feeling, but it's also one that can become a crutch. True strength comes when you realize that you have everything you need within yourself. It's a transformative moment, one where you move from dependence to empowerment. What does this look like in practice? It's waking up in the morning and knowing that your day doesn't hinge on someone else's mood or actions. It's finding joy in small personal victories, finishing a project you've been procrastinating on, cooking a meal you're proud of, or simply taking time to breathe and reflect. These moments may seem small, but they are the building blocks of a resilient and fulfilling life. Self-sufficiency also means learning to solve your own problems. Think back to the last time you faced a challenge. Did you wait for someone else to swoop in and save you, or did you dig deep and find a solution? Each time you tackle an obstacle on your own, you reinforce your confidence. You prove to yourself that you are capable, that you can weather whatever comes your way. This journey is not without its struggles. There will be moments when you feel lonely or unsure, when you long for the comfort of someone else's presence. But those moments are also opportunities for growth. Solitude, as the Stoics remind us, is not something to fear but to embrace. It is in solitude that we come to know ourselves fully. As you stand strong in your self-sufficiency, something remarkable happens. The world begins to see you differently. People are drawn to those who are secure in themselves, who exude quiet confidence and joy. They see someone who doesn't need to chase approval because they already hold it within. But here's the most important part. Even as others take notice, your sense of self remains rooted in you. You're not swayed by their opinions or actions. Your happiness is self-sustaining, a light that shines from within. Storm may come and go, but your roots will only grow deeper. And as you move forward, this foundation of self-sufficiency will become your greatest asset. Next, we'll explore how to transform the pain of their absence into growth that blossoms in unexpected ways. Let's continue this journey. 4. Transforming pain into growth. Pain, though unwelcome, often becomes the catalyst for the most profound transformations in our lives. When someone pulls away, it can leave a void that feels vast and overwhelming. But here's the truth. That empty space is fertile ground for growth. What if instead of fearing it, you embraced it as an opportunity to become something greater? Stoics believe that adversity is not an obstacle to a fulfilling life, but a part of it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the challenges you face aren't just detours, they're the path itself. When someone leaves, the pain isn't the end of your story, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you rediscover yourself. At first, the void they leave behind may feel suffocating, like the silence after a song you didn't want to end. You might find yourself replaying memories, questioning what went wrong, or yearning for things to return to how they were. But here's the question to ask yourself. What can I do with this space they've left? How can I fill it with something meaningful? Start by shifting your focus inward. When was the last time you did something purely for yourself? Perhaps it's time to revisit hobbies you once loved but neglected, or to try something entirely new. Paint, write, dance, or explore a new skill. Each action you take is like planting a seed in that empty space. And with time and care, those seeds will grow into something beautiful. The beauty of growth is that it often happens in unexpected ways. Maybe you discover a talent you didn't know you had. Maybe you meet new people who inspire you and help you see the world differently. Maybe you uncover a strength you didn't realize you possessed, one that allows you to face future challenges with greater resilience. Pain, as difficult as it is, has a way of sharpening our focus on what truly matters. It strips away distractions and forces us to confront ourselves. What have you learned about your own strength through this experience? What values have become clearer to you? Each lesson you take from this pain is a stepping stone toward a more fulfilling life. This process isn't about erasing the past or pretending the pain isn't there. It's about transforming it, using it as fuel to propel yourself forward. Think of it like a phoenix rising from its ashes. The fire consumes, yes, but it also gives birth to something new and extraordinary. As you grow, you'll start to see that the pain they left behind is no longer a gaping void. It's a canvas, one you filled with colors and stories that are entirely your own. You're no longer defined by their presence or absence. Instead, you're defined by the person you've become in their wake. This transformation isn't about showing them what they've lost. It's about showing yourself what you were capable of. And as we move forward, we'll explore how their eventual realization of your worth becomes irrelevant compared to the value you found in yourself. Let's continue. 5. Their realization of your worth. Isn't it fascinating how often people only realize your value after you've stopped seeking their approval? Like a shadow, your worth becomes clearer when you step away from their light. This phenomenon is more common than you might think, and it's deeply tied to human nature. But here's the critical truth. Their realization, while inevitable, should never define your journey. When you've been focusing on your growth, building a life filled with purpose and joy, you begin to shine in a way you might not even notice. To others, however, especially to those who left, it's unmistakable. They start to see what they overlooked. Your resilience, your independence, and the vibrant life you've created without them. This is the moment when they begin to question their own decisions. But let's pause here. Does their realization matter as much as your own? Their awareness of your worth pales in comparison to the value you've uncovered within yourself. It's not about being noticed, it's about knowing deeply and undeniably who you are and what you deserve. When they return with their newfound recognition, you might feel a mix of emotions. Maybe it's validation. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe it's even temptation. But before you let their return affect your path, ask yourself, have I been building this life for them to notice, or have I been building it for me? Their realization is not your goal, it's a byproduct of your growth. And here's the irony. By the time they come back, you may have outgrown the need for their attention entirely. You've become someone who thrives independently, someone who doesn't just survive but flourishes, no matter who is or isn't watching. This shift in perspective is transformative. It's the difference between living for others and living for yourself. And when you embrace the latter, you create a life that is not only fulfilling but also magnetic. People, including those who once drifted away, are drawn to that kind of energy. Now, let's take a moment to reflect. Have you experienced this before? Someone realizing your worth only after you've stopped chasing them? If so, share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else who's navigating the same journey. And if this resonates with you, let us know by giving this video a like. It's a small way to affirm the progress you've made and the person you're becoming. As we move forward, we'll explore how to handle their attempts to reconnect with clarity and confidence. You've already come so far, and what lies ahead is even more empowering. Let's continue. 6. Their attempts to reconnect. When they finally attempt to step back into your life, it often feels like a scene from a play you've already outgrown. They may reach out with a message, a like on your post, or an unexpected call, trying to gauge where they stand in your new world. But while their actions may momentarily stir old emotions, you must ask yourself, does their return align with the person I've become? Their attempt to reconnect is often born from their realization of what they've lost. They see the life you've built, the strength you now carry, and the independence you've embraced. But here's the truth. You've moved forward while they're still looking backward. I think of it this way. You've been climbing a hill, step by step, growing stronger and more confident with each stride. The view from where you stand now is brighter, clearer, and more expansive than anything you've seen before. Meanwhile, they're just beginning to notice the path you've taken, trying to catch up while you're already looking toward the next peak. When they reach out, it's natural to pause and reflect. After all, memories don't simply vanish. You might feel a flicker of nostalgia or even curiosity. But this moment isn't about them, it's about the decisions you make for yourself. Will their return add value to your life as it is now, or will it pull you back to a place you've outgrown? This is not about harshness or bitterness. It's about clarity. You've learned to steer your own ship, and their attempt to reconnect is merely a wave rippling against the side of your vessel. You may acknowledge it, even appreciate the sentiment, but your hands remain firmly on the wheel, guiding yourself toward the horizon you've chosen. This experience teaches an important lesson. Your time, energy, and heart are precious. You've worked hard to build a life filled with meaning and joy. Not everyone deserves a place in it simply because they've realized what they've missed. Respect their effort, but remember to prioritize the life you're creating. The beauty of this moment lies in the choice it offers you. You're no longer waiting for them to see your worth. Instead, you're deciding whether they fit into the life you've built. This shift in perspective is profound, and it underscores the strength you've cultivated along your journey. As you continue forward, keep your focus on the path ahead. Their attempts to reconnect may bring closure, curiosity, or even clarity, but they don't define your direction. Next, we'll delve into what it means to stand even taller in your self-sufficiency and how that resilience carries you into the next chapter of your life. Let's keep climbing. 7. Standing strong in self-sufficiency. There comes a point in your journey where you realize that you no longer need anyone else to steady you. Like a tree deeply rooted in the earth, you've grown strong enough to stand firm in your own independence. This is the stage of self-sufficiency where your sense of worth and happiness flows from within, untethered to external sources. Self-sufficiency is not about closing yourself off from others or rejecting connection. Instead, it's about knowing that your foundation is solid regardless of who comes and goes in your life. This is one of the greatest lessons of Stoicism. Happiness and peace come not from external circumstances, but from how you cultivate your inner world. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. What does this freedom look like? It means you wake up in the morning with a sense of purpose independent of anyone else's approval. It means you make decisions based on your values and desires, not out of fear of losing someone or hope of winning them back. This freedom is the quiet confidence that allows you to face life's uncertainties with strength and grace. Challenges will still arise. This is the nature of life. You may feel lonely at times or doubt your ability to navigate difficulties on your own. But these moments are not setbacks, they are opportunities to reaffirm your resilience. With every challenge you face independently, you prove to yourself that you are capable of weathering any storm. Think about a recent obstacle you've overcome. Perhaps it was a work project that felt overwhelming, or a personal decision that weighed heavily on you. How did it feel when you resolved it on your own? That sense of accomplishment is the essence of self-sufficiency. It's not about perfection, but about trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way. This strength doesn't just benefit you, it radiates outward. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and self-reliance. They see in you a calmness and clarity that inspires them. But here's the key. Even as others notice and admire your independence, your sense of self remains rooted within. You're no longer swayed by the opinions or actions of others because your happiness is self-sustaining. Self-sufficiency also brings a kind of joy that's hard to describe but unmistakable when you feel it. It's the joy of knowing that your life is your own, shaped by your choices and aligned with your values. It's the quiet contentment that comes from living authentically without needing anyone else to validate your worth. As you stand strong in your self-sufficiency, you might look back on the person you were before this journey began. Perhaps you see someone who relied too heavily on others for their happiness, who gave away their power in hopes of keeping someone close. That person is still a part of you, but they've grown into someone wiser, stronger, and more free. This stage of your journey is a turning point. It's a reminder that while relationships can enrich your life, they don't define it. You define it. And as we move forward, we'll explore what happens when the power in your story shifts entirely to you, where you are the one who makes the choices, sets the terms, and shapes what comes next. Let's step into this moment of power together. 8. Their decision time, your power shift. When someone who once pulled away starts to recognize your strength and growth, they're faced with a moment of reckoning. It's their decision time. They might wonder, can I fit into this new life they've built? Or have I made a mistake by walking away? But here's the powerful truth. This is not about them anymore, it's about you. Think of how far you've come. You've climbed mountains of self-discovery, weathered storms of pain, and emerged stronger, more confident, and more at peace. You're no longer the person who waits for someone else's approval to move forward. Now, the power is entirely in your hands. The question isn't what they'll decide, it's what you'll choose. They might try to show you they've changed. Maybe they express regret or promise to be different. These gestures can be flattering, even tempting, especially if part of you still remembers the connection you once shared. But before you let their words sway you, pause and ask yourself, does their return fit into the life I'm building now? Here's a thought experiment. Imagine your life as a beautiful, thriving garden. Every flower, tree, and path has been planted and nurtured by you. Their return is like someone showing up at the garden gate. Do they bring something valuable to add, or would letting them in disturb the balance you've worked so hard to create? This is your garden, and you have every right to decide who gets to step inside. This moment of choice can feel empowering but also heavy. You may feel a pull of nostalgia or a pang of uncertainty. That's normal, it's human. But remember, you are not the person you were when they left. You're stronger now, more attuned to what you need and deserve. Whatever decision you make, it should come from a place of self-respect and alignment with your values. If you're unsure, take your time. There's no rush to decide. The freedom you've cultivated in this journey means you don't need to act out of fear or urgency. Reflect on what truly matters to you. Think about the peace and joy you found without them. Does their return add to this or take away from it? This is also a moment to consider boundaries. If you do decide to let them back into your life, it's crucial that they respect the person you've become. This means no settling for less than you deserve. Your growth has shown you that your happiness isn't something to be bargained with. It's something to be fiercely protected. Now, let's bring this to you. Have you ever been in a situation where someone tried to come back into your life after seeing how much you've grown? How did you handle it? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story could resonate with others who are navigating similar crossroads. And if this part of the journey resonates with you, give this video a like to affirm the strength you found in owning your choices. Next, we'll explore the ultimate resolution, how to define your terms when faced with reconciliation or the decision to continue forward alone. This is where your story takes its most powerful turn yet. Let's move toward that final chapter together. 9. Resolution or reconciliation, your terms defined. Every journey reaches a crossroads, and this one is no different. You've walked a path of self-discovery, built a life rooted in your own strength, and reclaimed your independence. Now, as they stand before you, hoping for a second chance, you're faced with a profound question. What do I choose for myself? This moment isn't about right or wrong. It's about alignment. Does their return fit into the person you've become? Does reconciling with them enhance the life you've built, or would it disrupt your progress? These are not easy questions, but they are the ones that matter most. Think back to all you've learned on this journey. You've discovered your intrinsic value, detached from the need for external validation, and grown into a self-sufficient individual. You faced pain and turned it into power, navigated their attempts to reconnect with clarity, and now you stand at the helm of your own life. You hold the pen, ready to write the next chapter on your terms. If you choose to reconcile, let it be because they've demonstrated true growth, not just because they've realized what they lost. The words alone are not enough. Their actions must align with your standards and respect the boundaries you've established. Remember, reconciliation should be a partnership, not a compromise. It should add to your happiness, not be the sole source of it. On the other hand, if you decide to continue forward without them, let it be a celebration of your independence, not an act of defiance or bitterness. Walking away isn't about rejecting them, it's about embracing yourself. You've already proven that you can build a fulfilling life on your own. Choosing to move forward solo is not a loss. It's a testament to your strength and self-respect. This choice is deeply personal, and it requires honesty with yourself. Ask yourself, am I at peace with this decision? Does it align with the values and vision I hold for my life? These questions will guide you toward a resolution that feels right, not for them, but for you. As you make your choice, reflect on the journey that brought you here. The moments of doubt and pain, the small victories that built your confidence, and the realization that your happiness is yours to create. These experiences have shaped you into the person standing at this crossroads, and they will continue to guide you as you move forward. Ultimately, this moment is not about them. It's about you. It's about defining your terms and living a life that reflects the strength, clarity, and self-worth you've cultivated. Whether you choose to reconcile or move on, the power lies in knowing that the decision is entirely yours. As you step into this new chapter, carry with you the wisdom of this journey. You are not defined by who enters or exits your life, but by how you navigate each moment with grace, courage, and authenticity. The best part of your story is still unfolding, and it is one you get to shape every single day. This is your resolution, your reconciliation, your choice. Stand tall in it. You've walked through every stage of this journey, navigating the pain of their departure, discovering the power of detachment, standing firm in your self-sufficiency, and arriving at this pivotal moment where your choices define the next chapter. Along the way, you've grown in ways you might not have imagined. You've uncovered the strength to thrive independently, transformed challenges into opportunities, and cultivated a life rooted in your own values. Remember, this journey is not about proving your worth to anyone else. It's about recognizing that your worth was never in question. whether you choose to reconcile with them or continue forward without looking back. The most important thing is that you make the choice for yourself, guided by the person you've become. This is your story, and it's one of resilience, growth, and empowerment. As you move forward, let this experience remind you that life's twists and turns, while often unexpected, are always opportunities to learn and grow. Carry these lessons with you, not just for this moment, but for every challenge and triumph that lies ahead. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What insights from this journey resonate most with your own experiences? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective might inspire someone who's navigating a similar path. If this video brought clarity or encouragement, feel free to share it with others who might benefit from it. Let's grow this community of support and understanding together. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of growth, strength, and the wisdom of Stoicism. Here's to the incredible story you're writing, one where you stand tall, define your worth, and shape your future on your terms. Until next time, take care of yourself, embrace your journey, and keep moving forward with courage and confidence.